In this step, I'm going to teach you how to work with charts and graphs. If you haven't already done so, turn off viewing the formulas by hitting the Control+' keys again. Make sure your sheet is selected when you do that. The next thing that you'll want to do is we want to go back to the home page, and we're going to go into the conditional formatting and clear rules from the entire sheet. You'll notice that I have these number signs appearing here. Because Excel doesn't want to cut off a number, it shows you number signs if the column is too small to show all the numbers. You can fix that by either dragging or double clicking at the top of the column between the C and the D. And then I would like to turn off the sort and filter by hitting clear. Make sure you've selected the cell when you do that. Sort and filter. I want to turn that off. I'm just going to select the whole page. Turn the filter, and that turned everything off. Okay, that takes me back to where I started. And now we're going to work with graphing. To make it easier to graph, I'm going to hide the columns that I don't want to use. So I'm going to click in the center of the letter B, hold the mouse down, and drag 2 columns over. Then I can right-click over the columns, and I can select Hide. That will put the 2 columns that I want to graph next to each other. I'm going to click in the occupation cell, drag over 1 cell, and drag down. So I'm selecting 2 columns, and I'm stopping when I get to the blank line. Then I can choose the recommended charts option, and it shows me a couple of different charts. Clustered bar, clustered column. I can see all charts and the different options that I have for each. I agree that the recommended charts are probably the best one. I think this is easier to read than the column chart, so we're going to go with the clustered bar chart. I'm going to hit OK, and it's going to create my bar chart. I want to choose the Move Chart Location into a new sheet, and then I'm going to hit OK. Now, this is all right, but I'd like it to have a few changes. I can choose chart filters if I want to take out any of the different categories or the series, but really what I want to do is I want to edit these colors because I just don't like them. So I want something a little, I don't want the background color to change. We're going to do that as gray, and change the outline there. But what I really want to change is the data here. There, dark blue. I like that better. So you can change each of these areas by double clicking on them. You can select the axis options. You can select the text options. You can see what will happen if you change colors for that. And you can play with the different options. You may want to make the title options different. You can change these as well, setting the width, changing the color, and you can play with the different settings for that. So there's lots of different options for your charts and graphs, and I want you to see that you can play with changing colors. And I'm not worried about it looking attractive, but I would like you to try and go through and change some of the various settings that you have. And then you're going to go back to sheet 1, and we're going to leave this hidden for when you hand it in. But if you were to want to unhide those columns, you would be able to select the 2 and choose unhide. I'm not actually going to do that because I want to see that you were able to hide the columns. So at this point, you're going to save your entire Excel workbook, which will hand in both pages together, and you're going to hand this in for the end of the lab.